What single human has done the most damage to the progression of humanity in the history of mankind? OP is compiling a hit list for their time-traveling journeys.
I just want to talk with them.
Give 'em the clamps.
Sheikh al-Islam. I heard of this guy after hearing someone on TV complain about how this man set the Islamic world back by centuries. In 1515, the age of the Ottoman Empire, he, a learned scholar of the kingdom, issued a decree that forbid printing, press, and made using it punishable by death. Edit. Grammar. More context. Rupert Murdoch.
That monk who glued a page of geometry and algebra together to write prayers on it instead. Set the world of maths back about 300/400 years. Edit. Here you go. A Greek monastery held the papers for a whole, then it was overwritten with prayers. Edit. While not whole. There are two answers here, the ones who are serious and truly answer the question, and the ones who state some modern person they just don't like.
Alpha_Pro 2019 is probably the single worst human in history. Just kidding. You seem cool.
U/Alpha_Pro 2019 is probably the single worst human in history. Source: Thomas Midgley Jr. Almost everything he invented has seriously harmed humanity. With his inventions, Thomas Midgley Jr. contributed to the poisoning of 3 generations of children, increased the risk of skin cancer and other skin problems related to exposure to UV rays, and contributed greatly to global warming. Wow! Was responsible for adding lead to gasoline and freon gas to fridges. Then, after contracting polio and becoming paralyzed, he died by getting choked by an elaborate pulley system he invented to get himself in and out of bed. Purportedly, the unnamed inventor of flexible glass, Vitrum flexile, brought a drinking bowl made of the material before Tiberius Caesar. The bowl was put through a test to break it, but it merely dented, rather than shattering. The inventor repaired the bowl easily with a small hammer, according to Petronius. After the inventor swore that he was the only man alive who knew the manufacturing technique, Tiberius had the man executed. He feared that the glass would devalue gold and silver, since the material might be more valuable. What an idiot. TC had access to what he thought was worth more than gold and silver, so rather than claiming this new flexi-glass material for his own benefit in the name of the empire, or whatever, he wipes it out of existence. The Ottoman caliphs who banned the printing press in the Muslim world. That's exactly how you destroy a civilization.
Wow, that's like erasing the potential of millions of minds. Who knows what may have come from someone becoming literate enough to explain their ideas back then. I'd be thinking this onto a screen from Titan right now.
Even more sad when you TK that back then the Middle East was the hub of science and medicine. Andrew Wakefield. This man started the vaccines cause autism myth. I personally blame him for a lot of modern anti-vaxxers.
I think I watched YouTube video or documentary on it recently. It was so interesting and also terrifying that one man can breed a bunch of unnecessary fear and hesitancy just because he wanted to make a profit. And his impact still goes on today 20 years later.
And it was all based on a study of 12 people.
Bakhtiyar Khilji, hands down. In 12th century there was the world's biggest university in India named Nalanda, where intellectuals from all around the world used to study. Then Turks invaded India under Khilji. They killed almost all the intellectuals and destroyed the university. And they burnt the library. The library continued to burn for 3 months. This has to be by far the biggest loss to mankind IMO.
Same as Sunny Ali. Songhai King who couldn't read or write, and this inferiority complex led him to conquer and burn down Timbuktu and killing all scholars that didn't manage to escape.
A leader with an inferiority complex destroying things? That's some wild history. Surely that wouldn't happen today. A lot of people don't seem to understand the question. It's not who did bad thing or who I hate more. It's who hindered the progress of humanity the most.
People just don't want to understand.
Guy the Chauliac. He was a surgeon in the 1300s who vehemently spoke out against another fellow surgeon, Theodorac Borgognoni. Theodorac was a surgeon who wrote about his theories on proper wound care and believed that the best thing you can do to a wound is wrap it and keep it clean. Guy hated what Theodorac was writing because it directly went against the teachings of Galen, an ancient Greek surgeon who believed pus was the body's way of balancing your humors. Guy's teachings were widely accepted, and it's believed that his ignorance set the development of antisepsis in surgery back about 600 years. Edit. Guy the Chauliac was born in the 1300s, not 1200s, as he was alive during the Black Death. Ignaz Semmelweis was the guy who was thrown into a mental asylum for saying surgeons should wash their hands between seeing patients.
That stupid fish that decided to leave water.
The sun is a deadly laser.
Not anymore, there's a blanket. Robert Maxwell, father of Ghislaine. The man was the leading cause of paywalled scientific articles today. Before him, science publishing was relatively open. He helped shape the industry into the cancer on academia it is today. Edit. Quite the thing to wake up to, thanks everyone. For those interested, I found an article that details the events pretty well. The TLDR version is that through use of PR marketing, exclusivity deals, and copyright law, Maxwell through Pergamon Press turned scientific publishing from a relatively non-profit-driven endeavor to a predatory industry that charged institutions out the nose for research they paid nothing for. Check out Alexandra and Sahab. They've definitely helped many people who can't access scientific research. Video on Sahab. Article.